In this section, I'm going to go through the components of a pixel lighting system, then have you go through an exercise to decide what you'll need for your own system. It will be based off your sketch in the previous section, so if you didn't actually do the exercise, go ahead and pause this video and just take a few minutes to sketch something up. It doesn't have to be perfect and you can make changes to it later, but it gives you a good starting point to plan your display. Now, pixels need two things to work: power and data. Every light needs power of some kind, so nothing really new there. The difference is that pixels run on DC or direct current, whereas normal lights you buy from the warehouse stores typically run on AC or alternating current. Now, some of the new LED strings have a little block on the string that does this conversion, but all you do is plug the lights into an extension cord and go have a cup of hot chocolate for a job well done. Since pixels run on DC, you need to convert AC to DC with a power supply that plugs into the wall and provides the DC power for the pixels. Now, the second thing pixels need is serial data. This tells a pixel the color and brightness level you want at a given point in time. The data is a logical 1 or 0, so to keep you from having to turn a switch on and off hundreds of thousands of times per second, we have computers and software programs to generate that data. So a pixel lighting system is made up of 3 or 4 different components depending on your goal for the display. You need pixels, the actual lights for the display, 1 or more DC power supplies, a pixel controller that provides the data for the pixels, and if you want to take these to their full potential, a computer. Now, pixels are manufactured in China. If you search the web, you will probably find a vendor in your country that sells pixels. You can also import them yourself. In the United States, customs doesn't usually require anything for small orders because it just isn't worth their time collecting such a tiny fee. If you're buying large quantities for resale, well, that's a different story. Now, I've purchased a few thousand pixels directly from a manufacturer in China, and I've never had to pay customs charges. The downside of ordering directly from China is the shipping costs and shipping delay. Something I can get from Amazon in 2 days may take 10 to 14 days from China. Now, the upside is that unit costs are usually cheaper, but you'll have to do your own cost comparison to determine where to buy your pixels. Now, one last thing to keep in mind is when to make your purchase, especially if you order from China. Chinese New Year is celebrated every year and generally occurs between mid-January to mid-February. And it changes every year, but you can look it up on the web. During Chinese New Year, productivity is basically halted, so if you order during that time, you'll just have to wait until it's over and then add the normal shipping time to your order. You probably also want to order before October because they will get busy toward the end of the year. Now, you can still order anytime, but there will be times when it'll take longer to get your stuff. And nobody likes waiting for their stuff. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't have to start out by planning and setting up the ultimate display. This is something you will tinker with year to year. You most likely want to add or remove something each year as you gain knowledge and see what someone else has in their display. You might see a video of some effect or prop you like and want to add something similar. So you'll likely be buying pixels every year, so that's why it's helpful to find a reliable source and stick with them. Now, up next, we'll go into more detail about how pixels actually work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.